Hey guys, hey girls, hey boys. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mari, also known as Bajari here on YouTube. Hello, welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the ultimate drugstore starter kit. So this entire face right here is literally all drugstore products, even the lashes. I'm not gonna slip through and throw in some high-end. No, this is literally all drugstore products. So I just wanted to make this video for those who are just starting out with makeup and don't necessarily know what to buy, but they want to kind of like play around with makeup. So for me, when I first started off with makeup, I lived off Target makeup. Like, I did not go into Sephora because I remember one time I bought a palette, I didn't like it, and I already like threw $50 on that palette. But when you're starting off with makeup, you don't want to spend too much money, but you also want to play around with different products, different brands. So this is why I'm making this video, because I have a full face of makeup. You can go try it out. If you don't like it, it's not gonna break your bank. Like the foundation, probably like what, $10? It's not gonna break your bank versus going to Sephora, buying a $50 foundation, and if you don't like it, then what are you gonna do? If you guys are interested to see what is in my ultimate drugstore starter kit, then I suggest you keep on watching. But before you start this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your post notification bell so you're notified every single time your girl posts. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. Alright you guys, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows. I am so sorry. I thought I had my drugstore brow pencil, but then I pulled it out and realized it was done. So why do I have this in my makeup collection? I don't know. But if I were to use a drugstore brow pencil, this would be the one. When it comes to drugstore, I have to say hands down, NYX has the best brow pencils. They last long, they work just as good as a like Anastasia Brow Wiz. I believe this is like a dupe for the ABH one, but this is NYX. So yeah, I would use the NYX micro brow pencil in the shade Espresso, but fortunately it's done. So I need to toss this before I catfish myself again. So don't mind the brows. These are not drugstore, but if I were, again, the NYX one. So I think I want to start with the face. Should we do the face? Yeah, let's do the face first. All right, so to prime my face, I'm going to be using this E.L.F. Hydrating Face Primer. I'm just going to apply it on my hands and kind of just put it on the areas that I want the most hydration. So mostly like on my cheek area right here, because my T-zone area is where I get the most oily, and I already put moisturizer, so I'm not gonna put any primer on top of that, just on this area. So when it comes to primer, I have a love-hate relationship. So sometimes I don't use a primer and my makeup lasts just fine. So if you can get away with not purchasing a primer from a drugstore, go ahead and do it. Whether it's high-end or not, I'm not saying don't go buy it from the drugstore because it's not good. No, it's just I have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, and sometimes I don't even necessarily see a difference. But for the sake of today's video, I do want to mention a drugstore primer. So I'm using the E.L.F. Hydrating Primer. Okay, so moving to foundation, you guys, I have recently rediscovered my freaking go-to drugstore foundation. I have been using it non-stop every day since I decided to use it again. So this is the Maybelline FitMe foundation in the shade 125 Buff Beige. This foundation, I don't know why I stopped using it. It's so freaking good. It gives you like that airbrushed, like your skin but better look, and it is my perfect shade. I have been using it every single day. This is the Dewy one. Oh, I don't know, like I'm obsessed. I literally put all of my high-end foundations, all my other drugstore foundations to the side, and every day I have been grabbing this baby right here. Okay, so I am going to open her up, and what I like to do is kind of just put it on my finger and then dab it all over the face like so. Also, you guys, I have started to use a foundation brush. I haven't been applying my foundation with a beauty sponge, and I'm kind of obsessed. So we'll see how long I last with the brush. Before, I don't know, I just didn't like using a foundation brush, and I think it's because I couldn't find the perfect one, but I was just shopping through my makeup brush stash and I found one and I used it and it worked so freaking good. So that's what I have been doing. And that brush is the Real Techniques buffing brush. So what I do is, I'm putting the excess on here, I literally just buff it out and it works so good. Like this brush plus this foundation is the best combo. Okay, but the only thing is when it does get streaky, I just go in with my E.L.F. Beauty blender, E.L.F. beauty sponge, whatever. It's dry, it's not wet, and I kind of just tap around the nose area because that's where it gets streaky when it comes with the brush. I don't know, it's just my nose or if that's how this brush is. So I kind of just tap a dry beauty sponge around this area. But do you guys see how good my skin looks? Like, why did I stop using this foundation? Like, it looks so good. It gives me like a nice dewy look, exactly what it says it's supposed to do, and I am obsessed. Okay, so that is it for the foundation. I'll have everything linked down below, of course. So now moving on to concealer. This concealer you guys know I have been obsessed with. This is the E.L.F. Hydrating Concealer. I'm in the shade Medium Peach. I love this one more than the regular one. I have the regular one, but I tend not to like grab for it anymore. This is the one that I reached for. It's honestly a dupe for Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I say that because that was my go-to concealer, and once I bought this one, it works just as good. It is way more cheap. It is $6 and I love it. So I'm using this Medium Peach concealer. I cannot like say enough good things about it. When someone asks me like what's the best drugstore product I've ever purchased, it's this one right here. So I just like to apply it under my eyes like so. And again, something else I've been doing different. I usually don't do this with any other beauty sponge, but this E.L.F. one right here, it's really good to use dry. So when I use it wet, I feel like it kind of soaks up the product. So I was like, let me just let it dry, use it the next day, and it worked so much better. So I have been using this E.L.F. sponge right here, but not wetting it. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out. But yeah, this is the only beauty sponge that has worked good for me dry, because every other beauty sponge has to be wet or else it does not give me a good look. I think it's because of how soft this sponge is. It's not like one of those dense beauty sponges where you have to get it wet so it can become soft. Also, this is a drugstore beauty sponge, so you guys better go to Target or add this to your cart because it's so good. It's crazy because like I never saw myself using mostly full face drugstore. Like I always thought like I need to have higher end makeup to like give you that perfect look, but half of my everyday full face is drugstore, and then I kind of just tap the excess all over. All right, so that is what the concealer is looking like. So moving on to translucent powder and setting the face. I love this Maybelline FitMe loose powder, and I use the shade number 10 Fair Light because it gives you like that bright under eye look. So if you want something to like match your skin a little more, then obviously I would say go true to like the color. I went a shade lighter just to give me that nice bright under eye. So I just take it on this E.L.F. beauty sponge and pack it under my eyes. And this powder I just focus under my eyes and around my nose, basically the part where I get the most oily, like so. Okay, so now that I pretty much set my T-zone area, I used to go in and take more translucent powder and just set my entire face. But again, I was going through my makeup collection and I was like, why have I not been using this? So this is the Colourpop pressed powder in the shade medium. So what I like to do is just get my Morphe MB2 brush and just take this powder all over the face. Except I don't put this powder on the areas that I use the translucent powder, and I still love that dewy look, so I feel like this powder helps me still keep that dewy look. It doesn't make me super matte, but it sets it where it looks good, like enough. All right, so now that I'm all done with the pressed powder by Colourpop, we are going to bronze the face. So I have two favorites from the drugstore. I don't know which one I want to use. I have the Wet n Wild Take Me to Brazil bronzer, and then the Oldie But a Goodie butter bronzer. So I might mix them because they are two different tones. This one's a lot cooler, this one's a lot warmer. So I think I'm gonna start with the butter bronzer, and then to warm up my face, I'm gonna go in with Wet n Wild Take Me to Brazil bronzer. So I like to do this so I can see my face elongate, like if it's snatched. You wanna follow that carve. So like if you were to pull your head back like this, it makes you look snatched, and you want to contour that area. And then I'm going to take a crease brush. This is the Morphe M533 brush, and take some more of that butter bronzer to like bronze contour the nose. What I like to do is follow the area where it goes into the eye to the nose, and then I just bronze downwards. Okay, so that's it for the butter bronzer. Now I'm gonna go into the Take Me to Brazil bronzer by Wet n Wild using a Morphe M527, which is a lot more fluffier. And this one's just gonna warm up the skin. I'm gonna go back into the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder to kind of clean up where I contoured and bronzed. Using the same E.L.F sponge, just dip it into your powder. And then trace along where you bronze, like so. Okay, so now moving on to some blush. This is my favorite drugstore blush. This is the Wet n Wild Keep It Peachy blush. So I'm going to be using a stippling blush. I feel like that's my favorite way to apply blush. I've tried other ways where it's just like a regular blush brush, and I feel like it's too much for me. So a stippling brush kind of helps me not put too much. So yeah, I'm going to be using the Keep It Peachy blush on this stippling brush. And I kind of just like to smile. And then some on the nose, chin, forehead, just go crazy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit before I go in with highlight. I always like to do highlight last. I don't know what it is, but it just brings everything together. So yeah, now we are going to move on to the eyes. Okay, so for today's eyeshadow palette, I'm going to be using this BH Cosmetics Festival palette. I feel like it has like the perfect tones. You got some bright colors, you got a lot of neutrals going on. You really can do any look with this palette, and BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes are very pigmented in my opinion. So that is what I'll be doing. I'll be doing more of like a neutral gold look. So to start it off, I'm going to take this Morphe M441 brush and take this hippie shade right here. I know you're like, neutral, this is orange, but believe me, it helps with the transition shade. So I'm going to be taking that and putting it into the crease. Now I'm going to go in with the Morphe M514 brush. It's kind of like a smaller blending brush, and I'm taking the shade Escape, which is like a warmer but darker brown shade. And that's going to be focused on the outer corner, but also blending into the crease. And this is where it's really going to bring that neutral look, so it's not too much of a bright orange shade. And then I'm going to go back in with a little more of that orange hippie shade just to bring it back to life up here on the topper part of the crease. Sometimes I forget like the terms, but you know what I'm doing. You see it. Add a little bit more of the Escape shade. Blend in. Now for the lid shade, I'm going to cut the crease using a Real Techniques detailer brush and using the same E.L.F. Hydrating Concealer. What I like to do is kind of just put a little bit on my hand and then take the brush and dip it in and then cut the crease. And then do the same thing to the other side. And this part doesn't have to be too perfect because we are using a shimmer shade, so it'll just blend in with everything, but I feel like cutting the crease does give it a cleaner look, so that's why I am doing it. Okay, so now for the lid shade, again, going back into the BH Cosmetic Festival palette, I'm going to take this shade Magical. It's kind of like a champagne gold shade, and I'm using a E.L.F. eyeshadow brush to apply it. So I'm just gonna go over where I cut the crease and pack that shadow on. I feel like this is such a gorgeous color. It gives me like summer vibes. Same on this side. All right, and then I'm gonna go back into the Escape shade and just pack some more on the outer corner so it could just blend nicely. And then going back into the Morphe M441 brush, not taking any more product, just whatever's left over. Blend everything out. Now I'm going to do a winged liner. I feel like that'll look really good with this eyeshadow look. So my go-to liner, whether it's high-end or drugstore, no matter what, this is my go-to. This is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner in the shade Black, obviously. And I'm going to use this to make a wing. All right, so now that I have the wing on, we're gonna move on to lashes. So I do have some drugstore brand lashes. These are the BH Cosmetics. Oh, you see that reflection? Gorgeous. So these are the It's Magic Wink Wink Silk False Eyelashes by BH Cosmetics. I think they're currently on sale right now for $3.50, but if original price, it's $4.50. So yes, these are in the style, what style are these? I guess it's a number, so 3D561. Again, I'll have everything listed down below. So they do have some more dramatic ones, but I think for this look, I don't want to do something too dramatic. They have these right here. Look at how fluffy and thick these are. These are the Take Me to Brazil lashes, but I think I want something more natural, so I'm going to take these right here. And first, I'm going to cut them to my eye shape because they are, usually lashes are too long for my eyes, so I have to trim them. Yeah, so these are obviously definitely a natural eyelash look, which I feel like is perfect for this eye look since it's more like neutral shades. I have not glued it on, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply these off camera just to speed this process up using the Duo Lash Glue, which is also a drugstore lash glue. So I'm gonna put these on and your girl will be right back. All right, you guys, so I went ahead and put the lashes on, and honestly, I feel like these are like the perfect length and the perfect thickness for this look. These are so cute. They're perfect for like everyday lashes, and I feel like it just really complements this eye look. So now to finish up the eye look, I'm going to go back into the palette and take the shade Escape, and I'm using a Sigma small angle E65 brush, and what I like to do is kind of just pack it on the lower lash line like so. I like to pack the darker shade that I used on my eyes first, and then I'll go in with a pencil brush to smoke out and make it look more put together using the lighter shade, which was the orange one. And then I'm taking this BH Cosmetics pencil brush and taking the shade Hippie, which is the orange one right here, and going to smoke out the lower lash line. And now to make the eyes pop a little more, I'm going to take this Rimmel Nude Liner. I'm not too sure the exact name, but again, I'll have it linked down below. And this is just gonna go into my waterline. I look a little crazy, I know. I feel like this really just pops the eye look. Okay, so here I would go in with mascara. I do not have a drugstore mascara at the moment. I cleaned out my whole makeup collection and threw out all old mascara, and a lot of it was drugstore, so I only have my Benefit Bad Gal Bang, but any mascara would work fine, and I'm just going to apply that to the lower lash line. Okay, so now that we're pretty much done with the eyes, I'm gonna wipe away this translucent powder that I left on for years. So now to highlight my face, I'm using this Wet n Wild loose highlighter in the shade I Am So Lit. And I literally just need to take whatever's on the cap because it's very pigmented. I'm using a Morphe M510 brush to apply it. Just put some on the brush, tap it off. Ooh. Oh yeah. You could definitely make this super bright, but I don't want too much of a highlight. Just a glow. Take some on my pinky, tap it on the nose. All right, so that is all for the highlight. I feel like I don't want to put too much. This definitely a little goes a long way. So now for the lips, I'm going to be using my Morphe Sweetheart. Yes, Sweetheart lip liner. And then on top of that, going in with the gloss. This is the E.L.F. Champagne Glam. This is a lip plumping gloss. I don't necessarily see the whole lip plumping happening, but I do feel it. So the tingling sensation lasts for like maybe like a minute and then it goes away. But I really like how this gloss looks. So I'm going to be doing this lip combo. So when it comes to lip liners from drugstore, I definitely recommend Morphe or LA Girl. Morphe's I think are $3 and I believe LA Girl is either 3 or 4. I'll have them linked down below, but they are my go-to lip liners. I love them so freaking much. Like literally all my lip liner collection is Morphe or LA Girl. And then I'm going in with this E.L.F. Champagne Glam Gloss. Now last but not least, to set the face, I'm using the Wet n Wild X Bretman Rock setting spray and just spraying that all over. It smells so good. It literally just reminds me of Hawaii. It smells so coconutty and fresh. Alright you guys, so this is the finished drugstore makeup look. I just wanted to sit down here and share with you guys my holy grails, my go-to drugstore makeup products. Like literally I feel like transitioned into drugstore. Like I have my moments where like all high-end and then I'm all drugstore, but right now I'm like in a mixture of high-end and drugstore, but my everyday makeup look is like mostly drugstore products. So I was like, let me just sit down here and film a full drugstore makeup look, especially if you're just wanting to get into makeup and you're like looking to try new makeup but you don't want to go and splurge at Sephora or like the high-end Ulta part. So I was like, let me give you guys the ultimate drugstore starter kit. So if you are just starting makeup or if you already are into makeup and you want to just try some new products, these are like my holy grail drugstore products. I love them so much, and it's not just for this video where it's a full face drugstore look. Like no, I literally use the Maybelline FitMe foundation on the daily. My go-to concealer is the E.L.F. Hydrating Concealer. This makeup look right here, do you guys see this makeup look? The palette is Beige Cosmetics and I think it's only, let me check. I just realized that the palette I'm using, I hope it wasn't limited edition. Oh my god. But a lot of Beige Cosmetics palettes are so good. Even Morphe, those are drugstore too. But if you only want to spend like $10, $12, then definitely recommend Beige Cosmetics. But yeah, this is the finished look and I just really wanted to share this with you guys because when I was starting off with makeup, I would live off like Target makeup or going to Ulta, and then finally I was like, once I'm comfortable, I would start to splurge on more expensive makeup because I kind of got the hang of what I was doing. So again, if you're just starting out with makeup, I highly recommend drugstore products. This is why I made the video for you guys. So yeah, that is all for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, comment down below what you like to see in the future. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to mine and Angel channel, which is Bajari and Angel. The link will be down below. Stay bloomy and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.